Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, as I said, playoff atmosphere surrounds us. Both teams have had their share of distractions during the week. All that's put behind them. What do you think they have to accomplish to win today?
Well, you really can't beat today. I mean, this is really what football is all about, a meaningful game in December. I think it boils down to the quarterbacks. I think that the Redskins have gotten here this year mostly with defense. I think today they need this guy, Mark Rippon. Now, the Eagles know that they want to get after him quickly, they want to knock him down, and they want to keep him out of rhythm. On the other side, I think Randall Cunningham has to do it for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he has to have a big day. Now, what are the Redskins going to do about Cunningham? It's just the opposite. They don't want to rush him. They don't want to give him lanes. They want to form a pocket around him, keep him in the pocket, make him pass in the pocket. Don't let him run or run and throw.
That's how close this series has been over the years. 115 games between these two and 1 point difference in total points. And listen to this crowd and look at the stadium.
This is what NFL football is all about. Meaningful games in December. Winner goes to the playoffs. You can't beat this.
Ruzek's kickoff will be handled by Brian Mitchell at the 3. Mitchell out of the pack. He's got to beat Ruzek. He slowed him down just enough. And Washington in good shape. Heath Sherman finally made the stop after a return of 43 yards. Mark Rippon, of whom John spoke just a moment ago, very key element in this contest. In front of him, a rapidly improving, health-wise at least, offensive line. Lachey, Brown, McKenzie, Slereth, Simmons, and Ron Middleton. Biner, Monk, and Sanders, the posse. And they have it 1st and 10 at their own 46 after that long and good kickoff return. Clark went from right to left. Sanders on the move at the last minute. This is Biner. Nudges straight ahead to about the 48, a gain of 3. Seth Joyner made the stop. The Eagle defense, White, Pitts, Andy Harmon, and Clyde Simmons in front. Joyner, Evans, and Thomas, the linebacker. Perhaps the best front 7 in the NFL. McMillan and Allen, the cornerbacks. Piano and Booty, the safety. 2nd and 7. The crowd and the atmosphere, certainly everything you would expect. The winner is in the playoffs. Second down. Biner. Slip. And no gain. You think they're not ready? Here's Reggie White.
But this is a part of the day. Do him.
The first part of that sentence that you didn't hear was Reggie saying preachers don't party, but today's going to be a party.
And that's not good news for Ed Simmons, who has to block him most of the day, but Ed Simmons is going to have help most of the day from his tight end, big Ron Middleton.
Rippon will have to throw it. They have to protect him up the middle. That's not enough for a first down to Ricky Sanders. 6. That should be a yard short.
Byron Evans there, Seth Joyner there. You talked about the front 7. There are 2 of the best linebackers in the game. And I'll tell you one thing, when you catch a ball in that area, you are going to be hit by those guys. Those guys are very, very good tacklers.
And very quick. Sikahema back deep for the Eagles. Kelly Goodburn to punt it for the Redskins, standing at his own 40.
The Eagles think somewhere today they may get a punt block.
Not a good kick. Sikahema saved some yardage by fielding it on the fly, stopped by Desmond Howard. Randall Cunningham, key figure in this Eagle offense. The quarterback, Heller Baldinger, in place of Shad, Alexander, Floyd, Davis, and Byers, the tight end up front. Walker and Sherman, the 2 running backs, and Barnett and Calvin Williams wide. The key man, Randall Cunningham, 1st and 10, Philadelphia at their own 21. To the 28 by Edwards and Govea. A gain of 6. Washington has up front in their 4-man presentation, Mann, Buck, Collins, and Tim Johnson. The linebackers, Wilbur Marshall, Kurt Govea, Andre Collins. In the secondary, Johnson and Green, the cornerbacks, Copeland and Edwards, the safeties. 2nd and 3. They gave Sherman 7. Myers on the move. Walker. Knocked backwards. Wrestled down by Brad Edwards. Govea was the first man to hit him.
One thing, the Eagles have become a little better running team now that they have both Herschel Walker and Heath Sherman in the backfield. But I'll tell you one thing about the Redskins and a Richie Pettibone defense and a Kurt Govea middle linebacker, they are going to have all the gaps covered. Now there's 8 gaps. You have 7 front guys. To get that 8th gap covered, you need the safety, and you saw Brad Edwards, the free safety, taking that 8th gap.
Walker maybe lost a yard, so it's 3rd and 4. Cunningham, ever dangerous. To Myers, 1st down. Monty Coleman tackled Myers.
And this is what Randall Cunningham is going to have to do today, Pat, because the Redskins want to keep him in the pocket. You see the ends have the controlled rush. They want that pocket for him. They want him to have to throw like that. Now, if they want him to have to do it, and then if he's successful like that, then they're going to have to change that plan, too.
1st and 10, Philadelphia. At their own 34-yard line. No score yet. Walker. Out of bounds outside the 40 by Andre Collins, but a gain of 7.
Yeah, when the Eagles lost their tight end, Keith Jackson, then they had problems. They had Pat Beach there. That really didn't work. So finally, after Keith Byers broke his hand, they were playing Heath Sherman and Herschel Walker in the backfield. And Byers came in and said, let's keep those guys in the backfield. Heath Sherman is hot. He's doing well. I'll play tight end. So that way they got Byers, Walker, and Sherman all in the game at the same time. Their 3 best players by playing Byers as the tight end.
Cunningham back. Batted down by Wilbur Marshall. You know, John, the Redskins, they don't have a lot of big names on defense. But everybody speaks of their defensive unit with such respect because they give you different looks all the time.
And they play well as a team, and they have a good scheme. And this guy here, Wilbur Marshall, is playing extremely well this year. You watch him here, he's coming on the blitz. When the quarterback goes to throw, you just get your hand up.
3rd and 3. Wilbur is serious about this game and every game.
Hey, I don't know that there's too many more intense football players in this league than Wilbur Marshall.
Here's Cunningham. Caught by Calvin Williams. That would be another 1st down. A gain of 10.
Randall Cunningham looks very calm here. And again, what they're doing is they want him to stay in the pocket. But then they better cover better than this because they get confused. And you can see Johnny Thomas, the corner, was out there. He just let him go. Now look what the pocket looks like. They want their ends under control. You see, they want to form a pocket around Cunningham just like that so he can't run, make him throw. Of course, if he keeps throwing like that, he's going to kill him.
1st and 10 at midfield. The Eagles' first possession. The Redskins have had it once. Outside, dropped by Fred Barnett. Incomplete. He is being shadowed by Darrell Green.
Fred Barnett was telling me yesterday at practice that he says, you know, if they'll just throw me the ball, he said, I'll be open all day. He said, I can beat Darrell Green all day. And that's not just a guy talking. I mean, that's a guy that really can do it. I'm not saying he can beat Darrell Green all day, but Fred Barnett is one of the most dangerous receivers in the league. He can get deep on you on any play against any coverage.
And he has great leaping ability once he gets there. Fires wide left this time. Cunningham back to Sherman. Sherman is hammered by Gobea.
Now there's a guy who just makes plays, Kurt Gobea. Not big enough to be a great linebacker, not strong enough, but always knows where the play is going to be and knows what to do once he gets there. But
watch this hit.
Yeah, you see, you want to get around, you want to get square on the ball carrier and just get him going back to where he came from.
0-0, first quarter.
Here's Jason Buck right here, the nose tackle. You'll see Eric Floyd here come down and get his knee on that last play, and Buck went off the field. Buck, of course, was the hero of last week's game against Dallas, but you see it right there. He catches his left knee and rolls up on it.
3rd and 9. Cunningham out to Byers. Flag on the play. Another flag on the play. One back by Cunningham, one downfield.
Yeah, and then you see the guy that was holding the marker there. He has a Santa Claus hat on, and he got knocked down.
Wilbur Marshall thinks the initial penalty is against him.
Well, it was that one-man screen.
Pass interference, number 89 of the offense. Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 58 of the defense. Penalties offset. 3rd down.
Hey, we'll look at the roughing first. Wilbur Marshall's coming in here. Randall Cunningham throws the ball, and Wilbur Marshall spears him with his helmet after he throws the ball. So that's one penalty. Then the other penalty was against Calvin Williams, offensive pass interference. What that was, he was blocking before the ball got there.
3rd and 9. The penalty's offset. Roy Green in the slot to the right. Cunningham quickly to Byers. Byers is close to that first down yardage, but I don't think he quite got it.
And the way, I know it, the way he was arguing, he knows that he didn't get it. You remember the 49er game against the Eagles there where they got that spot, that short spot. They remember that one, and they know that this one is short. I think they're going to go for it.
The punter, Jeff Peagles, was on the field. Now they call him back and ask for quiet as the offensive unit comes out quickly. 4th, less than a yard.
See what happened is the ball did get beyond, but his feet were out of bounds.
Right at the 40. Walker didn't get it. Did not get it. Bowles and Edwards made the stop. Washington takes over.
You know, this Redskin defense, as you say, they don't have a lot of big names. They don't have heroes, but they have been the thing that has got the Redskins in a position to play a game that can get them in the playoffs today.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Desk Jet Printers from Hewlett-Packard. Desk Jet Printers, make it happen. And by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, 0-0. 1st and 10 Redskins at their own 40. Rippon on first down, going deep. Intended for Clark, incomplete, defended by Mark McMillan.
Big play by Mark McMillan. Here was a big 4th down play. You're going to see Shane Collins, number 91, gets penetration. He's on the ground. He gets his arm up right there. You see right there? That's the first thing that trips Herschel Walker. He gets his hand right there on him. That starts to trip him. The next guy in is Wilbur Marshall, and he comes right there, and then the last guy in is Edwards. Shane Conlon got the penetration that caused that to not be a first down.
That is Ernest Biner to midfield. Close to a first down. Right now, let's send you back to New York for an NFL update.
All right, Pat, and at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, the Rams have drawn first blood against the Packers from 16 yards out. Jim Everett's a flipper Anderson. The extra point makes it a 7-0 Los Angeles lead in the first quarter, Pat.
0-0 at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 7:07 left to play in the first quarter. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The winner of this one goes to the playoffs. The winner is on the hot seat.
And, of course, the Eagles took that first shot by going for it on fourth down. The Redskins made the first big play of the game by stopping them on fourth down.
Joe Gibbs, very much in control in that he calls all of the offensive plays himself.
And he says he's always thinking a play ahead. He has to call a play and then think of the second down play or right after he calls the first down play.
First down, Redskins. Rippon sets him up. That's Biner again. Good yardage and another first down before he's chased out of bounds by John Booty. 16 yards.
Yeah, talking to Seth Joyner yesterday of the Eagles, he said the thing that we have to do with the Redskins is we have to stop their running. He said anytime we have trouble with them is when they can run. He said if they can run, then they can do everything else. You see who missed that tackle, their middle linebacker, who I just said earlier was a very good tackler. That was Byron Evans. But Ernest Biner's not a bad runner either.
4 carries, 30 yards, another Redskin first down. Biner got 16 on that last play. And he gets another shot at it. This won't be 16. Clyde Simmons wrapped him up for a loss. Of 3.
Clyde Simmons is a leading pass sacker in the NFL. You always think of him as a pass rusher, but he plays the run very well. He has a tough job today. He's playing against Big Jim Lachey, and he took on that block, held that hole, and there was nothing to run on that side. But that's going to be a good matchup today. Lachey, one of the best blockers, and Clyde Simmons, one of the best pass rushers.
Passing down for Rippon, 2nd and 14. Sanders in motion left. Rippon has good protection. Screen pass overthrown, intended for Biner. Clyde Simmons made him throw it high.
Yeah, you see, this is a screen pass. You watch Jim Lachey. He's going to be blocking there. Now, what you do on a screen pass is you let him go, and then you cut him right at the end to get his hands down. You see, Clyde Simmons knows that. So as Lachey went to cut him, Clyde Simmons, instead of going down with him, he went up in the air and made Rippon throw over him.
So it's 3rd down. Ricky Irvins has replaced Biner as the lone Redskin runner. Rippon has time. Incomplete. Irvins had it in the numbers and dropped it.
Yeah, Irvins looked like he was starting to run there before he got that one, and he left the ball sitting there. Yeah, these Eagles are a hitting group, but they're missing 2 of their biggest hitters. Their 2 safeties, Wes Hopkins and Andre Waters. When they have those 2 guys in there, that's a green hitting machine.
Sikahema back, standing at the 10. Kelly Goodburn to punt. Did what he wanted to. High. The Redskins have a shot at downing it if they can get there. And they do down it at about the 1. Maybe even closer than that. Elliott. Down to Dowden at just about the 1.
While watching the National Football League on CBS Sports.
5:09 left in the first quarter at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Pat Summerall to John Madden. No score.
Yeah, we were talking about those Philadelphia Eagles safeties. There's one of them right there, Wes Hopkins. He's the free safety. He has a bad knee, probably out for the rest of the year, and is going to have surgery. Andre Waters, of course, the other one broke his leg.
In the meeting against the Redskins at RFK, Jason Buck is back. Cunningham about 8 yards deep in the end zone for Barnett. Over his head and outstretched hands covered by Darrell Green. Well, if he can beat Darrell Green every time, we're going to have to start the game again.
That's right. That's one time that he didn't, but that was a good play. I think that, you say, well, remember last week, Dallas tried it out of their own end zone, and that made Jason Buck the hero, and the Cowboys lost that game because of that play. But that was a good play pass. If you're going to take a shot, the Eagles are going after these Redskins today, and that's not a bad place to take a shot.
2nd and 10. Walker, right side for a couple. 3 maybe.
And that's the thing, Pat, with taking a shot on first down, then you have to come back and you have to probably run it out of there on 2nd and 3rd down. But I think that's better than trying to run it on 1st and 2nd, then take your shot on 3rd when you get that heavy pass rush. Because the first thing you want to do is get the ball out there to the 5, so that if you have to punt, your punter has the full 15 yards.
So it's 3rd down. They need about 7. Brandon on 3rd down. Walker stopped by Gobea again.
I'll tell you, that Gobea makes more hits between the tackles and makes more hits square than anyone that I can remember. I mean, he's always in there, and when he hits you, look how square he is. And that's the end of the run. The run stops there, and it starts to go backward. Of course, when you have Wilbur Marshall there with you, that's not bad.
Eagles out of the end zone. Handled by Brian Mitchell. Mitchell out of bounds. The Redskins will take over at the Eagle 45. Still no score. 3:42 left in the first quarter. It's 0-0. 0-0. The Eagles and Redskins. 3:42 left in the first quarter. So you got a mystery guess, John.
Well, we were just talking about Wes Hopkins and Andre Waters. We saw Wes Hopkins on the sideline. We couldn't find Andre Waters, and lo and behold, he walks into the booth.
You found him. Ripping. Complete to Sanders.
I tell you, we have him here. We have a headset on him. Andre, what do you think here? What's the deal?
Well, Sanders caught the ball in the middle, and the safeties have to come up and make the hit. There was pretty good pressure on Rippon in there, and he just squeezed the ball between the linebacker, both of the linebackers, and he's got to come up and make the receiver pay for the catch.
That's what that Eagle defense has to do all day today. Huh?
Definitely, they have to stop the run, and I bet you they get ready running.
This is Biner.
You would have been up there right then, wouldn't you?
Yes, definitely. When they spread you out like that, they just want to run the ball. They don't want to pass. And when they do pass the ball, they're going to basically run slants and flats. They don't want to. They want to spread the defense out so the running back can pick his lane. And that's what they did just then. And Bowner decided to go outside.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Andre. Good luck to you, and it'll be good to see you back.
Thank you, Coach Matt.
Okay.
Well, when you talk about making a hit, there's a guy who'll make a hit.
Joe Gibbs was talking about Andre Waters last night. He said, the amazing thing about him, he could be 10 or 12 yards deep, and you would think he couldn't get there, and he'd make the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Ripping to Biner. Biner struggled down to about the 17, got 3 yards. Tommy Jeter starting to play more for the Eagles and play better for the Eagles up to make the stop.
Yeah, there's Randall Cunningham in the next. Keith Byers, one of his best friends. And again, a guy that as a tight end or any kind of receiver makes Cunningham feel very comfortable. In fact, they both use that word. He said, when Byers is in there or around me, I feel comfortable. And Byers says, I always feel comfortable when Randall is looking for me to throw me the ball.
And he makes sure, Byers does, that he can find him. Here's Ripken back to throw it. Maybe. Clark. Wrestled to the ground by Otis Smith. A gain of 7. Should be a first.
I tell you, it starts off with very good protection. That's the thing you have to do against this Eagle front four. You have to pass protect. Now he had so much time that he was able to throw the ball. Clyde Simmons got up in the air. Ripken was able to bring it back, recock it, and get it out there again to Gary Clark. Now that was a heck of a play by Mark Ripken and Gary Clark, but excellent pass protection by the entire Redskin offensive line.
First quarter running down. No score yet. On first down, Ripken rolls right. Throws back left. I think he threw it to the A in the Eagles in the end zone. Incomplete.
Well, he was coming on a bootleg. See, the back will go to the left. He's going to bootleg out here to the right. He's looking for number 89, Terry Orr, on this side. You see Orr right there? He's covered. Now he has to come back to his second or third read. That's the good news. The bad news is, to do it, he has to throw all the way across his body. But they're starting to look for Terry Orr now.
And so are the other teams.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The other teams know that Terry Orr is the guy they try and go to down here.
Ripken. Shovel pass to Biner. Biner down to about the 4, but a flag down on the play. He got 8 yards, but it's going to be, from the indication so far, against the Redskins. It is. Dale Hamer is the referee.
Now the shovel pass, as you say, is a forward pass. Joe Gibbs is pulling out all stops. He goes to waggle, comes back with a shovel.
An eligible receiver, number 76, downfield on the offense. Still second down.
See, and because it's a forward pass, you can't go downfield. Now 76 is the right tackle, Ed Simmons. Now, because it's a forward pass, you can't run downfield. See, right at that point there, here's Simmons downfield. And of course, because it is a shovel pass and it is a forward pass, then a lineman can't go downfield before the ball is snapped, or before the ball is thrown.
The first penalty today, 2nd and 20. Monk is split out wide to the right by himself. Underneath the Sanders. Not much. Joyner was the first man to hit him. The defensive coordinator for the Eagles, Bud Carson. And that's the end of the first quarter with the score. Washington nothing, Philadelphia nothing. At Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Washington nothing, Philadelphia nothing. First quarter stats pretty even. 1 penalty, no turnovers. Third down, Redskins at about the 17.5-yard line of Philadelphia. 16 they need for a first.
This is where the Redskins have been having a tough time once they get inside the 20-yard line.
Ripken to throw it. Gets it over the middle to run. Middleton gets to about the 12. Knocked backwards, no first down. Lohmiller will have to come on.
Of course, that was the pass rush there. That, you know, Reggie White was right there. Mike Flores was right there. And Ripken had to throw that ball. You watch the pass rush here, you'll see 95 on one side, 92 on the other side. Ripken was just getting rid of that ball to avoid the sack.
Lohmiller is good, and he adds to his league-leading total. by 3 from 29 yards out. The Redskins lead it 3-0.
This playoff summary is sponsored by Energizer.
This first in the NFC, the Cowboys, 49ers, and Saints are in. Cowboys lead the East. The wild card situation, a lot depends on today's game. The winner of this one gets in. We'll get you the AFC playoff picture after the kickoff. Lohmiller's kick. Handle about a yard deep in the end zone by Signer. He is hit down at about the 19. Now here's the situation in the AFC. Still complicated. The Bills, Steelers are in. The Chargers could win the West. The wild cards would then be the Dolphins, Broncos, Chiefs, Browns, Oilers, and Colts. All of them with still chances. But obviously some of them will be eliminated today and some next week. The winner of this game, more importantly, goes to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the way.
Playoff game.
That's the way it should be. I mean, you got back doors, side doors, around the turn, up the bend, and then. But when it gets simple, if you win, you're in the playoffs. Okay, that's good. You don't have to worry about it. You lose, you shouldn't lose.
This is Walker. Herschel Walker, Eagle first down. Gain 14. Brad Edwards had to make the tackle.
That time, Kurt Gouveia or Wilbur Marshall didn't get square in the hole. And if you let Herschel Walker square his shoulders into the hole, you're going to have a tough time tackling. You got to get him penetrate. You got to get him before he gets to the line of scrimmage or before he gets square. But if he can get here and make this point, get to that point right there, he is probably going to get a first down. You got to get him before he gets started.
First down at the 35. Cunningham will throw on first. Maybe. He comes out of the pocket, finally gets it to Myers, and Myers got just a couple of yards. Wilbur Marshall there to make the stop on Myers.
Did you see Jason Buck there, Pat? He did the same thing to Eric Floyd that he did in that Dallas game last week. Watch it right here in the middle. He just takes Floyd and just drives him right back into the quarterback. That's called a bull rush. You get on the guy, you push, you push, you push, you push, and then you put him right in the quarterback's face. But Randall Cunningham made a great play. Instead of standing there and throw it, he took a couple steps backwards, came out, and made a play.
2nd and 7. Marshall looks like he's going to blitz. He did. Walker, the ball carrier, stopped by Copeland and knocked backwards. No gain.
Here's a guy who had some big plays last week on that Danny Copeland. He was the MVP for the week. He had an interception. Danny Copeland was the guy in the Dallas game who picked up that fumble in the end zone that won the game for the Redskins. Didn't know what to do with it. He ran it out of the end zone, ran it out to the 25, and the officials couldn't find the ball. So Monty Coleman had to go and get Danny Copeland and say, bring the ball back, bring the ball back.
And get it back in the end zone.
Yeah, they got it back in the end zone, and they signaled touchdown. Redskins win.
3rd and 7. Here's Cunningham out of the spread. Lofting for Barnett. Darrell Green back to make the stop. A 33-yard gain. Cunningham to Barnett.
Cunningham is very cool today. As you say, he lofted that ball, but if you take something to Barnett and you throw it deep, he's going to catch it a big part of the time. Well, watch how cool Cunningham is. He just stands in there, and it helps to be tall because he can see over everything. And then, of course, if you can see over anything, sometimes you can just throw it over everything.
Randall's about 6'4 and a half. Myers on the move again. Cunningham fakes to Walker. To Sherman. Out of bounds at the Redskin 21 by Collins, a gain of 9.
That's Randall Cunningham's play right there, Pat, the bootleg. In fact, about a month ago, they didn't have any bootlegs in. Randall Cunningham said, I need a bootleg. Here's what it is. The backs go one way, and then he fakes to the backs going that way like it's a run. See, the backs are going to the right. Now you stop it here. Here goes the backs this way. Cunningham still has the ball. He comes out the way away from the backs. And the back sneaks out there, and he just hits him in the flat. That's Randall Cunningham's favorite pass, the bootleg. Backs one way, quarterback goes the other way.
They need a yard. Sherman got a lot more. Inside the 10, touchdown. Philadelphia, flag on the play, 2 flags on the play. 21 yards out, but 2 penalty markers down.
Good blocking in there from Dave Alexander, Brian Baldinger, and Ron Heller. The left side of that Eagle line. They took control of it. They made that great hole for Heath Sherman.
This is going to be a penalty against the Redskins, so the touchdown will stand, I believe.
5-yard face mask. Number 28 of the defense. Penalties declined. Touchdown.
Double plays up. Watch the left side. They're going to hit right in there, the left side. You see that good blocking there. Collins makes a miss. You get a miss there by Andre Collins, and Darrell Green was the last misser. 3 missed tackles on that play, but still good running by Heath Sherman.
A heck of a run by Heath Sherman. The Eagles take the lead, 7-3. That's a great run. .26 left in the first half at Veterans Stadium. Philadelphia 7, Washington 3. The Eagles set to kick off. 6 plays, 80 yards. The touchdown run from 21 yards out by Heath Sherman. And a fine run. Brian Mitchell back deep for Washington. Roger Ruzek to kick it off. Mitchell, number 30.
Boy, they're fired up now. I'll tell you, we got some hitting out there. These guys are flying around the field today. Let's watch that touchdown again. It starts here. Here's Baldinger. Here's Heller. They get a double here. Alexander and Floyd get a double here. That's what starts the play being successful. I will say Heath Sherman starts to see those doubles. Then Heath Sherman makes a great move right here on Edwards. Watch him. Edwards coming across. He makes the move there. The last guy he has to beat is Darrell Green. Good blocking at the line of scrimmage. Good running by Heath Sherman.
1st and 10 Redskins. Biner. A lot of room. Another Redskin first down. Booty knocked him out of bounds with an assist from McMillan.
Now there is a little guy, Pat McMillan. He's about 5'6". They list him as 5'7". I think he's about 5'6" and a half, though, if you count that half. And a guy like that, a rookie out of Alabama, shouldn't be able to play. But he's probably been told that all his life, that you only weigh 160 pounds, you can't play pro football. But all the coaches say he's the best cover guy in the team and the most confident guy in the team.
He needs both of those, playing where he's playing.
Some rocks in his pockets would help him.
Yeah. Biner straight ahead for 7. Eric Allen made the stop.
But he's a fun guy. You just watch him out at practice, and he's, bouncing around, and, and he has a lot of life in him. And to me, those are the guys that make the game fun, that still have fun playing it. Of course, when you're a rookie, it's not still, but have fun playing it. And, have that bright-eyed look, and everything is bouncy and good, and it's fun to see undersized guys make the NFL too.
And believe me, he's undersized.
he's big time undersized.
Here's Rippon. Look left, looks deep. Sanders, Ricky Sanders, Redskin touchdown. Eric Allen was the nearest Eagle 62 yards. Rippon to Sanders.
Boy, they can criticize Mark Rippon, but that was a great play because he was going to throw it to his left. He was looking to Gary Clark in the left. He had nothing out there, and he had to turn and throw it to the other side of the field. Watch him here. It'll be the right of the screen, the left. You see he's looking out there. He pumped, then he turned, then he looked to the right, then he looked back into the middle. Ricky Sanders on this play was his third read and his third receiver, and he hit him perfectly.
And you know, certainly you know, when you have that much time to find a third receiver, the offensive line has to do a good job.
That is pass protection.
The Redskins have the lead now, 10-7 with 8:50 left in the first half. Sikahema back to return the kickoff from Chip Lohmiller.
Remember when Sikahema made a touchdown against the Giants? He went in the end zone and started punching the goalpost like a fighter?
Right.
I'd like to see that again someday.
I hope he's checked out the goalpost. Sikahema, Sittner this time. Still on his feet, flag on the play. Another one.
Boy, there's everything flying. There's players flying, coaches flying,
Kickers.
penalty flags down. This is a good day for hitting. There's a lot of hitting out there today. This is a playoff game.
Number 32 on the return, 10 yards, first down.
Holding called against James Joseph.
Let's watch the touchdown again. Here's where he's looking at. If we can just watch and see that that's Gary Clark down in the bottom, and he's going to try and throw here to Clark first. And we can see right there. See, you get a little play fake here. He's looking here. Now he doesn't have Clark, but look what he gets up in the middle. Here's Ricky Sanders running right by Eric Allen, who went for the play fake. I don't know why he bit that much in the play fake, but that was Rippon's third receiver. He wanted to go to the left outside, the right outside, and finally to Ricky Sanders running right by Eric Allen.
Steve Sherman heading left. That's about all he did was head in that direction. Shane Collins, first to hit him.
Yeah, there's Eric Allen, and he was the guy that was beaten by Ricky Sanders. Talking to Reggie White. And again, there was no pass rush on that play. Part of it was that it was a good play fake. And that also kept Reggie on the line and the rest of the defensive linemen, and Eric Allen even looked into the backfield.
Second.
I said, we can't go for play fake.
Second and 11. Pitch back to Walker. Hit by Collins for a loss. Again, let's send you back to New York for an NFL update. Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, the Packers wanting to stay alive in the hunt for the NFC Central Division title. Darrell Thompson, 2 yards in the touchdown. They've cut the Rams' lead now to 10-7 in the second. Pat?
10-7 the score here at Veterans Stadium. Washington leading Philadelphia. 7:30 left to play in the first half. The winner of this game again goes to the playoffs. 3rd and 17 for the Eagles. Cunningham back in the shotgun. Intercepted by A.J. Johnson. Intended for Calvin Williams. Redskins are in business.
It was perfect coverage by A.J. Johnson. You see him up in the top. There's Calvin Williams, number 89, trying to run it in. Cunningham tries to zip it in there, but he wasn't open. Calvin Williams didn't even get a step for him, and that was a forced pass by Randall Cunningham. Great coverage, though, by A.J. Johnson.
The Redskins will have it 1st and 10 at the Eagle 30. Don't forget, next Saturday it begins with the NFL Today at 12 Eastern Time. And then the Saints go to the Meadowlands to play the Jets. That's Saturday. Right now it's 1st and 10 Redskins at the Eagle 30. Rippon. This is picked off by Seth Joyner. play downfield. Hold everything. Let's see what this is about.
Well, you know, the Eagles all the way back to Buddy Ryan were big on that interception or picking up a ball and lateraling it. Of course, I think what they're going to say is the Eagles are going to have the ball. The interception is going to stay. I think they're ruling that it was a forward lateral.
Illegal forward pass, or whatever they call it.
Well, Seth Joyner lateraled it to Otis Smith.
Right.
We have an interception. Interception on a play. Following the interception, there was an illegal forward pass. Number 59, 5 yards, first down.
You see the pass rush there. Mark Rippon couldn't step up. I don't think he saw Joyner. Joyner stepped right in front of the receiver, and they said that that was a forward lateral. See, so Joyner gets it here. That doesn't lateral it forward. I guess he did because he was right on the line, and the ball was lateral in front of the line.
So the Eagles turn back the Redskins, and they have it 1st and 10 at their own 19. A turnover apiece now. Cunningham to Sherman. Heath Sherman, 1st down Eagles, hard running again. Got a gain of 14. Brad Edwards finally made the stop.
Of course, Seth Joyner knew that, you know, when they get a turnover, the Eagles are very good. They're as good as anyone once they give up a turnover of their defense going in and stopping the other team. Seth Joyner, of course, was in a little hot water this week for a story that was in the New York Times last week, talking about his coach, Rich Kotite, about Randall Cunningham, and they got it all straightened out on Tuesday.
That's Heath Sherman again, stopped by Gobea. Pittsburgh and Minnesota still scoreless in the second. The Rams leading Green Bay by 3. Very important games to both those teams.
You know, you take any group, you know, you got 45 active players, 47 men in a team. They're not always going to get together. They're not always going to agree. They're not always going to be friends, even like, you know, they were talking about in the pregame show. All they have to do on Sunday is play well and win.
Here's Cunningham back to throw. Gets it to Byers. Byers fought out to about the 40. Danny Copeland wrapped him up, a gain of 6. Cunningham to Byers.
You know, Keith Byers has a broken right hand, and he used to wear a cast on it, and he had trouble blocking and catching. And then he doesn't wear anything on it anymore. And I think that anytime Randall Cunningham goes back to throw, the first guy that he looks for is Keith Byers. Now, if he doesn't look for him, Keith Byers starts yelling at Randall Cunningham. He yells, woo, 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 anytime he thinks he's open.
He makes sure Randall knows where he is. 3rd and 2. Incomplete, intended for Walker. Broken up by Wilbur Marshall and Alvoid Mays.
Yeah, Wilbur Marshall almost had one there because Mays had good coverage, so therefore Wilbur could jump in front. He did jump in front, and if he catches that one, it's a touchdown.
Jeff Fiegel's first punt, only punt, 41 yards. Mitchell back deep to the Redskins. Good kick. Flag on the play, however. Mitchell at the 20. Upended at about the 26. 40-yard punt, 6-yard return. William Frizzell down to make the stop. This is going to be against the Eagles.
Now that has to be one in the illegal formation because it was right on the line of scrimmage.
On the kicking team, right side of the line. It's too far off the ball. Penalties decline. First down.
This is a tough one. What they're saying is here's the ball, and these guys here are back too far on this side. And again, that's a rule that they put in for offensive pass protectors, and now they use it on the punt coverage team.
That seems like you got to be looking for your penalty quota.
I think that is a very touchy call, a very close call, or one that, as you say, you have to be looking for something to call that one.
1st and 10. Viner. Flag on the play as Viner gets, again, good yardage. Before he stopped by Booty and Allen, but a penalty marker down. That looks like it is in the area of the holding.
Allen, Reggie White jumped up like he was a guy that was being held. The Redskins are taking that play that they usually take inside and bouncing it outside with pretty good success, though.
Holding, number 87 of the offense, 10 yards, still first down.
Against Middleton, who was blocking on Reggie White.
Yeah, if you look, you're going to see Middleton come down here on Reggie White, and we'll see him. See, he gets a block in there. He starts going and going. Then he must have grabbed him or right in there. With his left hand, he must have grabbed him because he got him spun around, but wherever he held him, we couldn't see it there. That looked like a pretty good block to me by Ron Middleton. And again, most of the time, they've been taking that play inside, and today the Redskins and Viner tend to want to bounce it and get it outside.
First and 20. Excuse me, John. First and 20 at the 16. 4:20 left to play in the first half. Rippon, draw play to Viner. 2 yards maybe. Seth Joyner to make the stop with help from Reggie White.
You know, that's why I think you see such big tight ends today, you know, like a Ron Middleton, because they're playing against Reggie White. You know, you look at Reggie there, you see he was down on the ground, he was trying to move Pitts in, then he had to move back out. But you need big tight ends like Middleton who weigh 270 pounds because teams are playing their big defensive ends on them now.
Second and 18. Here's Rippon to throw. Rolls to his left. To Art Monk. Covered by Otis Smith. That's Monk's first catch of the day. 10-yard gain.
That's what they do here to Reggie White. Simmons has him, then they bring Viner in. They get him doubled, they get him locked on that right side. Then in addition to that, showing the respect they have for Reggie White, they roll, Mark Rippon rolls to the left side. So not only did they double Reggie White, but they doubled him on the back side away from the roll.
147 straight games for Monk with a reception. Third down and about 7. Rippon with a lot of time gets Sanders first down. Redskins. Booty and Smith made the stop, but they got 11 yards.
I'll tell you one thing, Mark Rippon looks a lot better this week than he did last week. In fact, he looks a lot more today like he did last year than he did last week or any part of this season. I think he has that thing going. I mean, he's getting some confidence now. He's getting some rhythm now, and it all helps because so far he's had excellent pass protection this first half.
One more play before the 2-minute warning. Rippon chased and sacked by Seth Joyner.
You're going to see Seth Joyner here. Now, they hadn't been able to get there with their force, so they bring Seth Joyner. That's the thing about a Bud Carson team. If you can't get there one day, you just keep adding rushers.
So 2 minutes left to play in the first half at Veterans Stadium, 10-7 Washington. Coming up on the NFL Today halftime report, Greg and Terry will have all the scores, highlights, and latest playoff information from around the NFL. And we'll have a birthday visit with Bullet Bob Hayes as he turns 50. He can run. Bet he still can.
He sure could, and you know, I mean, he was one of the first ones, I think, that you realize if you just get a fast guy out there, defenses are always going to be aware of him, and you better have 2 guys watching him.
He can stretch him.
If you're in the zone, you better keep that free safety deep.
That's Brian Mitchell as the running back for the Redskins out to about the 35. Seth Joyner and Eric Allen made the stop.
You know, Seth Joyner's having a pretty good first half here. That was his 6th tackle. He had an interception, and just before that play, he had a sack. So Seth Joyner is holding up his part of the deal here. He's taken on that thing. You see the counter tray, the big tackle, Lachey. To take on Lachey and still make the tackle is a good play by a linebacker.
Timeout, Eagles. Washington leading Philadelphia 10-7. 1:53 left in the second quarter. 3rd and 15. And Rippon back to throw it. Up the middle, he gets it to Brian Mitchell. Plenty of room and a Redskin first down. Seth Joyner again, the tackler.
And again, Mark Rippon came off. He was looking for Gary Clark again. Gary Clark was coming on a cross. Everyone ran by Gary Clark in the cross, and Brian Mitchell was wide open.
Rippon in a hurry. Brian Mitchell to about the 42-yard line of Philadelphia, tripped up by McMillan. 6-yard gain.
That was one of those one-man screens where the right guard, Mark Schlereth, pulls out, and he was a lead. He got a pretty good block out there. He's a guy that made it go for whatever yardage they did get.
This is a Redskin timeout with 1:16 left to play. Washington leading Philadelphia 10-7. A minute 16 left to play in the first half at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Washington leading the Eagles 10-7. Rippon 10 out of 15. The touchdown pass from 62 yards away to Sanders. 2nd and 4 now. Brian Mitchell remains the running back. Mitchell. Not enough for a first down. Maybe a yard short. Miano up to make the stop.
Rich Miano was the strong safety on that one, and when he gets up there, he becomes the 8th man up. He would play and run all the way.
Mitchell, first down Washington, stopped by Joyner. He got 3 yards, however. The Redskins will hurry up again. Clock running with 40 seconds now left to play in the first half.
The Redskins have 2 timeouts.
Here's Rippon. There's Rippon. Reggie White took him down. Clock stopped now with 33 seconds left to play. A loss of 4 yards. Timeout, Washington.
And here's Reggie White. Great players make big plays when you need them. Ron Middleton trying to block him by himself. That's not going to happen. And you see Rippon, he sneaked a peek out there. He was watching the pass protection. You shouldn't do that.
Reggie, who got an award before the game here in Philadelphia as the man of the year, both on the field and off. Well deserved.
And he's the type of man that could be the man of the year for many years or any year. Like yesterday was his birthday. He was all excited. He had to go home. This is the award that he won that they gave him before the game. And again, you know, superior athlete and superior person off the field. And yesterday was his birthday. He turned 31 years old, and his kids made him a birthday cake. And he says, I got to go home and eat it. I said, what are you talking about? You got to go home and you got to eat it. You want to go home and you want to eat it because you know your wife helped him make the cake.
All I know is he left in a hurry.
I know, to get that big old cake.
To Middleton, to about the 31, stopped by Joyner again. Clock running with 23 seconds. It'll be down to 20. Redskins hurry up, trying to get closer for Lohmiller. 3rd down and 4. Rippon gets it to Sanders inside the 25, about the 23. Again, stopped by Joyner. A gain of 7. They'll stop it with 4 seconds left to play in the first half, and here comes the field goal unit.
And there's a couple of guys who have had big first half. Joyner, who made the tackle, and Ricky Sanders, who caught that pass. He's already caught 6 passes today. He caught that one big one for a touchdown. So you say the posse, not much from Clark, not much from Monk, but a big first half from Ricky Sanders.
Jeff Rutledge in to hold for Lohmiller. about 41 yards away. The Redskins lead it 10-7. This guy has done one remarkable job, Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, I think Joe Gibbs and his entire staff, I think that's the best coaching staff in the league.
So from 41 yards away, Rutledge got it down. Low Miller has plenty of room at the end. And the Redskins tack on 3 more and lead 13-7. Mark Rippon, a solid first half, connecting with Ricky Sanders on that 62-yard touchdown run. Solid first half for this guy.
And you know, we're talking about Joe Gibbs and his staff. This is one of the best things that they do now. When they go in that locker room, they see what this defense has done to them in the first half, and they make as good as adjustments as anyone.
So that's the end of the first half with the score: Washington 13, Philadelphia 7.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Honda, celebrating its 10th anniversary of automobile production in the United States. Miller Lite, an official sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 27. And by Braun, makers of Flex Control, the world's first electric shaver with a pivoting head.
Back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, Mark Rippon and his Redskins leading the Eagles 13-7. Halftime statistics.
Well, you know, I think one thing that Mark Rippon really does look a lot more confident, and I think part of it is because he got the running game going. You see, they rushed for 68 yards, and he passed for 150 yards. Both teams had 1 turnover. Everything else is about even, and I think that first half, again, was kind of a sparring match, and the team that's going to win it is going to come out here and take command in this second half, because that hasn't happened yet.
The Eagles will receive the second half kickoff. Low Miller. Cunningham back. This is going to be Seidner out of the end zone. And they'll start from their own 20. There's the book on Philadelphia in the first half, their possessions and where they started.
Yeah, and you know, you think they're 13-7. They really didn't have good field position. This is the thing, the best field position they had was starting on their own 21-yard line. So in the first half, they didn't have it. They got 7 points, and you would hope that with a defense like the Eagles have, that in the second half, somewhere along the line, they could get better field position.
1st and 10 from the 20 as we begin the second half. Myers again in motion, and the handoff is back to Herschel Walker. Walker gets out to about the 28, stopped by Andre Collins after a gain of 8.
That's the thing with Herschel. You know, he takes those little steps, so he always has balance. And again, you can't tackle him up high. You have to get him down low. But you see those little steps he takes? He never takes long strides. He never gets where you can knock him off. He always has just little steps. Here, Myers sets up one guy and then goes and blocks the second guy.
2nd and 2. Hand off to Heath Sherman. That'll be an Eagle first down. Andre Collins came up to make the stop.
Yeah, that's a pretty good combination of Heath Sherman, you know, going one way, and then Herschel Walker, and having both of those guys, and then Myers as a tight end, and they can get some things going on you. And like I said, Randall Cunningham has yet to run, has yet to do any of those things, but he's always the biggest threat anytime you play this Eagle offense.
And before it's over, he will. Calvin Williams, the move man this time. And the throw is to Barnett. Barnett for a gain of 6. Darrell Green, the defender.
You know, if you look, you know, we're talking about Heath Sherman and Herschel Walker in the backfield. Since they've done that, the Eagles have really rushed for more games. If you look, in their first 10 games, they averaged 139 yards. In their last 4 games, that would be the games that Heath Sherman is starting in the backfield with Herschel Walker. They've averaged 161 yards.
Which is pretty good.
I've always said that's the best friend of a quarterback. You give that to a Randall Cunningham and you have something.
Here's Cunningham out of the pocket, and he's going to take off. Cunningham out of bounds in Redskin territory at their 39. Baldinger with a good block, and Cunningham picked up 24 yards.
And you heard them all yell bootleg. That's what it is. Bootleg is any time the backs are going to go one way. See, now if we stop it here, we see both backs have gone that way. Cunningham is going to fake keep it and bring it out this way. Now this is an option runner pass. He can throw the ball or he can run it. He has two guards out there in front of him. That one looked like run all the way. See big Brian Baldinger, the starting left guard, he was out there making a hit in the open field, and at that point, Randall Cunningham had to run because his linemen were downfield. Sherman
to the Redskin 27, a gain of 13, stopped by Edwards.
Now they have things going. They got their mixture. They got their running game going. You see Keith Byers started in motion, and then he stopped and came back and led to the other side and made a good lead block on Wilbur Marshall. That was an interesting play. Byers in motion, stop, come back, and lead to the side that he left from.
Byers weighs about 255, 260. He can put a hurt on you. First and 10. Sherman gets the carry, gets to the outside, or tries to, tripped up for just minimal yardage.
You know, they tried to do the same thing, and he tried to come back on Shane Collins. What? He'll stop, now he'll stop, and he'll turn and go back. He hits 91 there. He doesn't get much movement. Shane Collins, the rookie second-round draft choice, won that one.
Collins got a little lower than Byers did.
Yeah, in fact, Collins knocked him into a position that you usually don't see a football player get in.
Start telling bedtime stories. Heath Sherman.
It's a violent night.
Yeah. Cunningham appears to be changing things. Going deep. Williams. Touchdown, Philadelphia. He had to come back. They made an outstanding catch.
Cunningham is one of the few guys that'll throw that pass. You say, if it's intercepted, you're going to say he shouldn't have thrown it. It's double coverage. You don't throw into double coverage. Look, they got double coverage side by side, everything there. Throws it a little short. Calvin Williams comes up with it.
Ruzick for the extra point. And the Eagles retake the lead by a point now, 14-13. Touchdown, Williams. This is everything you could expect. (14-13). The Eagles lead the Redskins. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. 10:45 left to play in the third quarter. Ruzick set to kick off. Back deep, Brian Mitchell. Short. Desmond Howard. To the 27.
Yeah, Pat, if we look at that touchdown again and we watch Calvin Williams here, you'll see a couple things that shouldn't have happened. He almost dropped the ball. Look, if we see it here, it's in his hand. Here's the ball here, dropping down, but it doesn't hit the ground. Calvin Williams comes up with it, boom, and then gets it before it hits the ground. So we say Randall Cunningham probably shouldn't have thrown it. He threw into double coverage. Calvin Williams dropped it once and still made a heck of a recovery.
And probably shouldn't have caught it.
there's about three shouldn't have happened.
Outside to Clark. Hit immediately by William Thomas. A gain of 6.
I think Mark Rippon had one of his better first halves. You see, again, most of his passes are going to be short. 8 for 12 under 10 yards. 3 for 3 between 10 to 20. Then, of course, that one between 30 and 40. He hit that one for the touchdown to Ricky Sanders when Eric Allen blew the coverage.
That was his longest of the year. That's the book on Rippon. And that's a good book. That's Biner. Ernest Biner, short of the first down, got 3 yards. Stopped by Andy Harmon.
Mark Schlereth got a good movement over there on Mike Pitts. They were running right in behind Schlereth, their big right guard. He got a good block. He got good movement. It gave him a little soft spot, but not enough to get a first down.
3rd and 2. About 1.5, really. Monk split wide left. Middleton is the tight end. And this is Sanders coming this way. Rippon read the blitz and got it out to Sanders.
And he had to. That's what you call a hot receiver. You watch the blitz, you're going to see Seth Joyner come right up there, 59. He comes free. Rippon can't set. He just has to get rid of the ball. And when you have to get rid of it and still get a completion for a first down, that's a big play. Mark Rippon's having a big day. Ricky Sanders is having a big day.
Sanders has seven catches for 114 yards, and of course that big one for the touchdown. That's Middleton on the move, and he sets up on the right. Biner. Close to midfield. Stopped by Joyner again.
And we talk about the posse, Pat, and Monk has one, Gary Clark has one, and as you just said, the guy who's really doing the damage with 7 receptions is Ricky Sanders.
Well, it's one of those old stories. You start to gang up on Monk, and then Clark has a hot day, so you double him, and then the other guy comes forward.
Yeah, last week we were at Redskin Park before the Saturday before the Cowboy game, and I saw Ricky Sanders at the thing, and then his wife drove up in a Jaguar, and her license plate says Mrs. 83.
Rippon going for Clark. Out of his hands, covered by Otis Smith.
Gary Clark had the hamstring problems. He always has hamstring problems, but he pulled one in last week's game, so he had to get it retaped, and then he didn't practice all week. And he goes out there and just does the mental things, but doesn't run at all. So today is the first time that he's done any running at all since last Sunday.
3rd down. About 3. Redskins at their own 49. Eagles leading by a point. Here's Rippon on 3rd down, out of the pocket. Gets it up the middle to Biner. Biner inside the Eagle 30 to about the 27. Smith and Miano tripped up Ernest Biner, but good yardage.
I'll tell you, Rippon's really standing in there because he's going to get some pressure from Reggie White, number 92 there. See him coming at him. He just sees that, feels that, steps up a little, and finds Ernest Biner. I'll tell you, Rippon has made a heck of a lot of moves and adjustments in that pocket today. I mean, he's not the quickest guy, he's not a scrambler, but he's just made subtle little moves that have made things happen. That one there, the blitz when Joyner wasn't blocked, and of course seeing Ricky Sanders for the touchdown as the 3rd receiver.
Rippon over 3,000 yards. Fires again. Picked off by William Thomas. First down, Eagles. As they lead by a point and they take over. Not a happy Joe Gibbs, but a jubilant bunch of Eagles. The Eagles lead by a point, 14-13. Here's the interception, John.
And you're going to see Tommy Jeter come near and make Rippon throw it a little to his left. The guy that tipped it was Byron Evans, the middle linebacker, and of course William Thomas ended up with it.
Heath Sherman left side, not much. Tim Johnson stopped him after a yard gain. Second and 9. The Eagles tough in the second half, 191 points. The most in the NFL, second 9. And their own 20. Up by a point, this whole thing is out of sync. And flags come flying from everywhere.
Yeah, it looked like Randall wanted the ball, like he was trying to come out of there, and the backs were trying to leave, and the center, Dave Alexander, didn't give it to him.
False start, interior line, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
The whole line.
See, now watch the back start to move to their left and Randall start to pull out. See, Herschel Walker was already across the backfield. Randall was pulling out, but you can't pull out until you get the ball. And David Alexander didn't give him the ball.
Second and 14. Redskins adjust. Williams goes in motion. Cunningham to throw it. Incomplete for Barnett. Low and wide.
Hey, you see Darrell Green was right there. I think it's amazing, you know, that Darrell Green is even back playing. I mean, he broke that right arm. He had to have surgery. They put a plate in the right arm, 3 screws on either side of the plate, and he very well could have taken the year off. But a guy like Darrell Green has played in this league as a pro and an all-pro for 10 years, and the reason he has is because he loves to play and wants to play.
Third down and 14. Cunningham from the spread formation this time, with time. Going deep. Complete. A collision right in front of the Redskin bench, but no flags thrown. Barnett was the intended receiver. Darrell Green was the defender. I think just to amplify on that point you were making, when Darrell Green came back, as he did, that's when the Redskins started to play better.
I know it because, you know, he can do so many things. You see him there with Fred Barnett. He's one of the fastest guys in the league. He's one of the best cover guys in the league. Then you can do a lot of things around him.
Mitchell fumbled the punt. A dive for the ball. I think the Eagles got it. And a fracas breaks out back on about the 35-yard line, and flags come flying. So the ball was loose.
The ball was loose, and it looks like it's going to be the Eagles' ball. And then a fight broke out about 10 yards behind the ball, and they're still fighting.
And another one. Eagles ball. Heath Sherman made the recovery.
Again, Brian Mitchell just never got the handle on that one, Pat. Looked like there was no one there. They had him surrounded, and no one hit him. Then he just dropped that
ball. Was recovered by Philadelphia after the play. Unsportsmanlike, number 20 of Washington, 15 yards.
Al Boyd Mays was involved in that other fracas we were talking about 10 yards away from the ball, which you didn't see, but we did. And that's the reason for the penalty.
You know, and Brian Mitchell has been one of the playmakers for the Redskins. You know, they didn't mark the penalty off yet. I think they were going to give the ball where it recovered. Now they're going to mark that 15-yard penalty. There they go.
Well, now the ball is already down on the 35-yard line in Philadelphia's possession. It looks like they will have it there, 1st and 10.
You know, both coaches, when we talked to Joe Gibbs last night, Rich Kotite yesterday, they both said a big part of this game is going to be special teams. You think of offense, you think of defense, you think of the quarterback, you think of all this, but this could very well be won or lost on special teams.
And the reduction in roster and the injury situation on both teams has hurt their play on special teams.
The Eagles are getting excited because they had the whole team out there. The clock is running, and Randall Cunningham wasn't there. They had all 10 guys, and they didn't have a quarterback, and the clock was running.
That can be necessary.
Well, the two things you need is a ball and a quarterback.
Well, they got the ball.
And the clock is still running. It's down to 15 seconds.
Now they got it going. Sherman inside the 35, stopped by Tim Johnson, a gain of 2.
Here's the other thing. You need a ball, and you need a quarterback, and you need the center there, too.
And you need a clock.
Yeah, and a clock and an official. But Dave Alexander, number 72, has been a kind of a steadying influence on this Eagle team. He's the guy that's always there. He's a center. He's a guy who makes all the calls, gets everyone in the right place, is a good blocker, a very, very solid player.
Here's Cunningham. Chased out of the pocket. He doesn't mind that too much. Chased by Wilbur Marshall. And lunges out of bounds after perhaps a gain of 5. Tripped up by Wilbur Marshall. Randall wants a new towel.
Yeah, you see that sign there. We are thinking of you, Big Bird. Big Bird was a nickname for Dennis Byrd,
right?
The injured New York Jet player. And Dave Alexander played at Tulsa University and is a good friend of Dennis Byrd's. And Dave's wife, Kathy, made that sign. And he wanted us to know, he wanted Dennis Byrd to know that, that everyone is with them.
And we continue to hope that Dennis is making progress. Everyone does. This is Walker with no place to go. Again, it was Wilbur Marshall who stacked things up.
Look at Wilbur Marshall. Yeah, he's just so intense, and he's keying on everything. You see the shotgun here. You have 2 guys on either side. Byers is going to lead for Herschel Walker. Herschel probably shouldn't have delayed there. He should have probably just got right in behind Keith Byers, boom, and landed up in there. When he made that delay is when he got tackled.
Ruzek from 45 yards away. Eagles holding. He won the game for the Eagles against Seattle last week in overtime. With overtime running out. And that one is short and left and ugly. And the lead remains a point. Philadelphia 14, Washington 13. And the center, Norman Brayman, the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles. His team leading by a point.
He's still shaking his head there. He looks like he's wondering, why did we go 3rd down to get in a shotgun and run it delay to Herschel Walker? Why didn't we throw the ball? Let Randall do something. He's the guy we're paying all the money to.
You think he was saying all that?
Yeah, I think he was. It makes sense to me.
That's Viner. Straight ahead for a couple. Andy Harmon and William Thomas made the stop. Viner got 3 yards.
Of course, Byron Evans, he's made some big plays today. That last turnover was caused by Byron Evans. Rippon was looking. He got a pass rush by Tommy Jeter. Had to throw the ball, and it was deflected by Byron Evans.
2nd and 6. Left. Rippon straight ahead to Viner again outside the 35. A gain of 4. Tripped up by Byron Evans and Rich Miano.
Randall Cunningham sure looks a lot more confident and relaxed than he did earlier in the season. Of course, he always looks relaxed. I mean, Randall Cunningham, I think when you think of cool, Randall Cunningham is cool, but there was for a while that he was pressing and didn't have a lot of confidence, but now he's not pressing and he does have a lot of confidence.
Washington has converted on their last 6 3rd down situations, something they worked on a lot this week. Performance on incomplete, but a flag on the play. Intended or in the direction of Monk.
That was a poor pass for Monk. It was a good coverage by Eric Allen.
This against Washington. Reggie White in conference with Dale Hamer.
I think they'll probably turn it down again because it was an incomplete pass, and the Redskins are going to have to punt.
Holding, number 63 of the offense. That one's declined. Fourth down.
Holding on McKenzie, but it's declined.
See, McKenzie is the free guy, and what he's doing is he's just helping there on Andy Harmon, and all he did is keep his right leg there in the hole.
That is not holding.
No, they called a couple plays today that looked like phantom calls to me. Just weren't there. That's the second holding penalty that I didn't see any holding on.
That was just a tangle.
Pretty good play by McKenzie.
Goodburn's kick is a good one. Cunningham back at about the 8. Wrestled backwards. Coverage is good by the Redskins, led by Matt Elliott. One-point lead for Philadelphia.
You are watching the National Football League on CBS Sports.
Next Sunday features doubleheader action here on CBS. In the early game, Green Bay takes on Minnesota, and the Giants battle these same Eagles. Although I think the game, most of you will see the Bears against Dallas. So check your local listings for the game and times in your area. It starts at 12:30 Eastern time with the NFL Today. And look at this. Pittsburgh beating Minnesota and Green Bay over the Rams. If that continues, that could be for the NFC Central Division title. That game next week. Keith Sherman straight ahead. Gobert at the stop.
You know, Pat, you just think a year ago, the Desmond Howard, watch him here. He was the Heisman Trophy winner. And they had him in New York, and they were doing all these things. He's a #1 draft choice. He comes into the league. Look what he's doing now. He's covering on punts. He's getting doubled. And when you get doubled on punts, they take pretty good care of you so you don't get down there. And then after you get down there, there's still some action.
2nd and 6. There's Cunningham. Pass complete to Keith Byers. Hit by Copeland, a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, it looks like there's something wrong with Charles Mann, because you're going to see him right here, and he is kind of free. And it looks like no one blocks him, but he just can't get there. And that's part of Cunningham and seeing him, but he was just standing out there. Looked like if he would just see it now and just take off towards Cunningham, that he really could have put a hit on him. But he just can't seem to get there.
It's like something's wrong with his leg.
He doesn't have the speed.
Again, that happened to him. Copeland made the stop after a gain of 8.
And what they did is they made Charles Mann work out, and then they cut back inside. See, he's the end man right here, and you'll see they got a double on him. He works out, and then boom, they just cut right back to the inside off him.
Looks like he can't push off. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Philadelphia 14, Washington 13. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes. If you think Washington insiders are afraid Governor Clinton will clean up their act, then think again. They can hardly wait for the new administration. Tonight on 60 Minutes. That's followed by Murder, She Wrote. Then it's a CBS special. Holiday greetings from the Ed Sullivan Show. Bob Newhart hosts a retrospective feature of past holiday appearances by Elvis Presley, the Supremes, Robert Goulet, the Three Stooges, and many others. That's tonight on CBS, 2nd and 2 here. Cunningham. Sherman, 1st down and more. Stopped by Copeland, but he scrambled for 12.
I'll tell you, Sherman really hit that thing in there. They had a free man coming from the outside, and they just couldn't get him. Watch from his left side there. He's just going to break a tackle. There's going to be someone come flying in right there. It was Collins, and he just ran right through Andre Collins. I tell you, he hit that hole quickly and with power.
Sherman, 14 carries for 84 yards and a 21-yard touchdown. He gets the carry again and again. It's Sherman. Gets good yardage to the Redskin 45. Picked up 8. After 3 quarters, the statistics. First down's pretty even. Philadelphia's been able to run. Washington's been able to throw a little bit better, but the Redskins have had 3 turnovers.
Yeah, that's a big thing, but the interesting thing is they've had 3 turnovers. The other team has had 1 team, but there hasn't been any points off of turnovers yet.
We'll return to Veterans Stadium after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. That's Danny Copeland shaken up on the last play. Walked off slowly. He's walking faster now. Second and a long one. Fumble. Still loose. Fumble might have gotten them the first down. They wouldn't like it that way. I mean, to achieve it that way. Heller, I believe, came up with the ball.
Well, we'll see. Heller's number 73. He's a left tackle. He never get the handle on the ball. Collins goes there for it. It pops out. It's right at Heller's feet, and he does fall on it. I don't know if he felt that ball hit his ankle or what.
The ball was fumbled forward legally.
Fumble forward legally.
Boy, there's nothing like a legal fumble.
You don't get many of those.
No, not so. That's real football, man. What do we got here? We got a legal fumble. Hey, let's get some more legal fumbles.
Reggie White will take those.
Yep, that's probably compared to an illegal one. You know, that old one that if it's 4th down or in the last 2 minutes, if you fumble it, you're the only guy who can recover it. It was 3rd down, so the big old tackle could recover it.
Myers on the move again. He has been all day. That's Walker. He got perhaps a yard. Met by Shane Collins.
I've always felt in the playoff games that they turn everything up a notch. That the hitting, the blocking, the tackling is much crisper, and I feel the same way in this game. That we're seeing a very intense, very hard-hitting, very crisp tackling game.
Well, they all treated it yesterday and today, I'm sure, as if it were a playoff game.
Well, and they know that. I mean, you don't have to know formulas and stuff. The winner of this game is in the playoffs. That's simple.
2nd and 9. Here's Cunningham rolling to his left. Wise decision. Copeland back in the game. Made Cunningham look for a place to go down.
This was going to be that bootleg again. You see, he has Baldinger, number 62, pulling out in front of him. And I don't know why he didn't try and outrun Copeland. He saw Copeland coming up from the inside, and Cunningham just stopped. Now, that is an instinct. Usually, when he sees that angle coming inside, he'll try and outrun it to the outside. He just took a seat.
3rd and 10. Not a comfortable seat. Defender, but Cunningham threw it low and outside, and if anyone was going to catch it, it had to be Barnett.
And he threw a comfortable pass there. He had good pass protection. It's a zone that the Redskins are in. He has to throw it over the short guy and in front of the deep guy. He makes a perfect throw. As you say, there's only one guy that's going to catch that ball, and that's Fred Barnett.
First down, Eagles at the Redskin 23. Tacklers led by Shane Collins.
Yeah, this whole Philadelphia offensive team today is playing with a lot of confidence. You know, sometimes we've done Eagle games and they look like they're grab bagging a little bit. Here today, they look like they're cool, that they're calm, that they're confident, that they know what they can do. They can pop Heath Sherman, they can get Herschel Walker a little run. Cunningham could throw, they could bootleg, and they have very good mixture of doing those things.
2nd and 8. and had no place to go. That's that controlled rush.
Well, again, what they do is they control the rush. They brought Andre Collins straight up the middle. He got knocked down and got up again and made the tackle. Collins is usually an outside linebacker. He came to the inside that time, hit a blitz, got knocked down, spun around. You'll see him come right up the middle, 55. Boom! He gets knocked down, spins around, jumps up, and still gets the sack.
3rd and 17. Redskins again trying to put the heat on. Incomplete. On Cunningham, intended Barnett. Green was with him. This one was a little too low and too much outside.
Yeah, well, Fred Stokes was really coming on him from that backside. Fred Stokes was rushing Randall Cunningham, and he had to throw it at that time. Watch number 60 here. You see him? Heller doesn't block him. Now he outruns him. Now watch, he's free and going after him. If Randall didn't throw it exactly when he did, that would have been a sack.
This will be a 47-yard attempt by Ruzick. He missed from 45 earlier. That was long enough. But this one's wide right. A line drive that wandered to the right.
This game summary is sponsored by Miller Lite.
Rippon is 15 out of 23, 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 62-yard pass to Sanders. 2 picked off, however. Washington has 3 turnovers. The Eagles 1. Heath Sherman has rushed for 94 yards and a touchdown. And Ruzick has missed twice from 45 and 47, and this guy had a big part of that.
Andre Collins did, because he was the guy that got the sack that knocked the Eagles back 9 yards.
Rippon to Clark. Hit by McMillan, a gain of 5.
Of course, you add that 9 yards, to the field goal. Had Collins not made that sack, then Ruzick would have been 9 yards closer. That was a big sack.
2nd and 5. You look at the flags up on top of the stadium, and you realize that Ruzick, if the wind is affecting play on the field, was kicking that last 47-yarders right into the wind.
Well, and he had missed one earlier to the left on like a duck hook, and then he pushed that one to the right.
This is Biner on the draw play, 1st down Redskins. Byron Evans tripped him up.
Hey, I think both of these Redskin tackles, Lachey and Ed Simmons, are doing an excellent job. Clyde Simmons is the leading sacker in the league, and I think Jim Lachey has done a very good job of pass protecting on him today, because you haven't heard his name much, and Ed Simmons has really fought Reggie White pretty well all day.
Joe Gibbs says that Lachey is the best pass protecting tackle in the league. Rippon going deep. Caught it, but he's out of bounds. McMillan, the defender, Monk has about, 8 or 9 inches in height over McMillan?
The thing is, but McMillan, guys have had 8 or 9 inches in height than McMillan all his life. And guys learn to play like that, and the reason he's in the league is that those things don't bother him. Of course, when you fall down, he has about 6 feet inches in height on him.
But he's out of bounds.
But McMillan has played that way all his life, so he's learned that, how to use angles, how to use your arms, how to use your hands, how to jump. All those things are the things that put him in the NFL.
2nd and 10. Rippon. And down he goes. By Clyde Simmons. Andy Harmon. And Simmons combined for that sack. A loss of 11.
That was a flush sack. You're going to see that Harmon is the first guy. He's going to break through here. Watch 91. He's double teamed. He keeps working. Now he breaks through right there. Okay, now what that does, when he breaks there, that's going to flush Rippon. And it flushes him to the left, right into Clyde Simmons.
3rd and 21. 8:09 left to play.
That was a big pass rush by Andy Harmon.
Here's Rippon, screen pass out to Brian Mitchell. And out of bounds by Seth Joyner. Not nearly enough.
On that play by Harmon and Clyde Simmons, and these fans here, these Philadelphia fans, they know their defense. So they know that when they did that, that put them in 3rd and long. They weren't going to get a first down. They were going to force them to punt. They were going to get the ball back. These fans knew all those things were going to happen.
They're on their feet for the Eagle defense. Good burn back to punt it on 4th down, and Sikahema is number 22 back for Philadelphia, playing with both sprained ankles, but still dangerous. Low line drive kick will be returned by Sikahema. By Sikahema. Out of bounds by Thomas. Punt, 47-yard return.
He started those punches. You notice he was working the left and right. He says he works the body first before he goes to the head. But this is what made the celebration. The Redskins all came down. They all got bunched in. Now, once he got to this position, Desmond Howard went down. Now all he knew he had to do was make a move on the punter. He's going to win that battle, but he just couldn't outrun the last guy.
1st and 10 Eagles at the Redskin 25. 7:25 left to play. And the handoff is to Herschel Walker to about the 21. Stopped by Andre Collins. Walker got 4.
There's by Sikahema. And, you know, everyone talked about him. And, you know, we talked to Richie Kotite. He says, we can get a big play on special teams. Joe Gibbs says, the thing that worries me is by Sikahema. He says, there's not a lot of great punt returners in this league, but this guy is one of them. And he said, we have trouble with that because we haven't been a good special teams team this year.
2nd and 6. Looking out of the end zone in the direction of Calvin Williams. 6:38 left to play, and the Eagles leading the Redskins by a point. And Minnesota has just tied Pittsburgh.
You know, and I think the Eagles right now, Pat, are thinking that we better get a first down here. Because the last couple times we've had to settle for field goal. Brusek missed to the left and he missed to the right. So maybe the offense, we ought to do it ourselves.
On 3rd down. Time. That's going to be out of the end zone also. Flag on the play. Saying I was held. Somebody else saying I was held.
Yeah, Byers was really adamant.
Number 55 in the defense.
Yes.
5-yard penalty.
Collins.
First down.
Let's watch.
You'll see Byers here. He's number 41 coming out of the backfield. They're saying Andre Collins. You see him. He grabbed him there, and then he grabbed him there, then he grabbed him. That was a triple dipper. He grabbed him 3 times on that play.
That's going to be enough for a first down. They're moving the sticks. That's a big one.
Probably the most upset guy is Richie Pettibone. You see there, Joe Gibbs. The happiest guy could be Roger Rusek.
He certainly could be. Then he doesn't have to try again.
And that's right, because that was an incomplete pass, but brought up 4th down and a field goal.
I see Sherman inside the 20 to about the 19.
You know, it's interesting. That was Andre Collins who gave away a big play. He was a guy last week against Dallas who made a big play with an interception. He was a guy just the last time the Eagles had the ball that made a big play with a sack. And that time he gave one away.
This is Philadelphia's first possession inside the 20. Remember, Sherman scored from 21 yards out, 2nd and 8. Cunningham. The middle through the hands of Brett Barnett. That one a touchdown.
Hey, that looked like a perfect throw.
Yeah.
You know, Randall Cunningham, they worried about him when he came out of college that he would wind up. But I'll tell you, he can put something on that ball. And he threw this one as a fastball. It went right through Barnett's hand. I wonder if Calvin Williams, Calvin Williams was on the goal line, looked like he thought it was for him. He jumped up, the ball went by his hand. I wonder if that was a distraction to Fred Barnett.
It could have been, certainly. But when it got to Barnett, it was right through his hands and perfect. Here comes Cunningham out again. Fires lunges for an Eagle first down, I think. Danny Copeland made the stop. Fires limping back.
We just saw three things that Randall Cunningham likes. He likes to get in the shotgun. He likes to use the bootleg, which he does here, and he likes to find Keith Byers for first down. And he did all those things. When you need the big play, you want to go to that. He likes the shotgun where he gets back, you can see, spreads them out. He likes the bootleg, get the backs going one way, you go the other way, and he likes to hear Keith Byers go, woo, woo, woo. That means he wants the ball.
I'd like to hear that from you, too. That's Walker over the right side. He got to about the 4 before he's knocked backwards. Byers over on the sideline. He was shaken up with that last lunge for this first down. 6 catches he has today.
You know, every time we've done an Eagle game, it seems like Keith Byers comes up with big plays and big games. That was a big, big play for the Eagles, and it looked like some kind of cramp or something that they're trying to rub out of his lower leg. The other thing that can be is a test for his Achilles tendon.
They're hoping they can rub it away.
This isn't a bad place for a bootleg here. We talked about things that Randall Cunningham likes to do. In fact, he just took a timeout here. They're going to come over and talk about it. But a bootleg option run or pass wouldn't be bad.
Play clock was down to 3 seconds, and he wisely took that timeout.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the Heartbeat of America, Chevrolet, and your local Chevy dealer. Isotoner gloves for men, the perfect gift because they're the perfect fit. And by Bic Twin Select for normal and sensitive skin. There's a Bic for every beard.
Back at Veterans Stadium, the Eagles leading the Redskins by a point. Second down at about the 3. 4:25 left to play. Walker and Sherman behind Cunningham. 2 tight ends set up. That's Sherman in motion. Here's Cunningham. Sherman at about the 1. Stopped by John Brantley. A yard. All about that much.
And that was another thing. Usually when Randall Cunningham runs, it's a bootleg where the backs go one way, he goes the other way. That one was a rollout. He just opened up and he rolled out to the right. And again, it was an option, run or pass. And that's what I think they have to do on this down also.
3rd and goal at the 1. Heller jumped a little too early.
And that is a killer.
Prior to snap, number 73 of the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Yep, he just got a little anxious. He wanted to get down lower than the guy. Looked like the defensive guy moved, but Ron Heller, number 73, did move first. He got down in the stance, and he just gave a little flinch. Now that takes you out of goal line. That puts you in a passing situation. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles go to a shotgun here, which they're not doing.
And give Randall a chance to run with it. Give him that option. Which, of course, he can do very well. Out of the end zone. Into the lower deck.
He didn't have a chance. There was no one open there. That guy made a heck of a catch.
He's not open either.
Well, he had the gloves on. Now do a street move. Hide the ball. Put it under there. Make them think you're fat.
Here's Roger Ruzek. He has missed twice from 45 and 47. This will be 23. The Eagles holding. Beats the snapper. Good snap, good hold. Field goal is good. And the Eagles lead now is 17-13. Just over 3.5 minutes left.
You know, Ron Heller put him in this position after the penalty. You'll see what they're trying to do is flood this left side of the field. And if you look here at the pattern, once they get in the end zone, we'll see right now that this is covered, this is covered, this is covered. There's no one for Randall Cunningham to throw it to, so he just throws it away and takes the field goal. Well, Ron Heller's there apologizing to Randall Cunningham because that took him out of a run or run pass or option play when he jumped off sides on the goal line. That's a killer of a penalty for an offensive lineman.
17-13. 3:35 left to play. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. And the home team winning, and the winner headed to the playoffs. High kick will be fielded by Brian Mitchell. About a yard deep in the end zone. He fumbled it. Now he's going to bring it in. And the Eagles are down and take it down at about the 10. James Joseph made the stop. Coming up next, it's the Jeep Eagle Tournament of Champions Ski Series. 16 skiers compete in 3 events of head-to-head racing. Coverage begins at 4:30 Eastern Time from Deer Valley, Utah. That's next on CBS. Right now on CBS. 17-13 Philadelphia.
And this place is fired up because over the years, from Dick Vermeil to Buddy Ryan to Rich Kotite, they appreciate and understand and love their defense here.
Rippon back to throw. Mark, first down. Byers, they're still working on his left ankle, Achilles, whatever it is.
Of course, they know that if they're going to get the ball back, that Randall Cunningham needs and feels more comfortable with Keith Byers than anyone. I think Mark Rippon ought to feel comfortable with Gary Clark because he is a big playmaker.
The Redskins have got to get something out of this drive in a hurry. The shuttle pass to Biner. And right now, let's send you back to New York for an NFL update with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, at Green Bay, 11:40 to play in this game. 4th and 2, Jim Everett to Jim Price. He dropped the ball. He missed it. It's still 28-13 Green Bay in the 4th, Pat.
At Veterans Stadium, Rippon gives to Biner, and Biner breaks into the secondary. Another Redskin first down. The Eagles stop him at about the 40. Rich Miano after a gain of 12.
The Redskins are going with no huddle here.
They got to get a play off before the 2-minute warning. They got to hurry. They do. Here's Rippon. Incomplete. 1:57 left to play. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. It's Philadelphia 17, Washington 13. Next Sunday, it begins at 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL Today. Then doubleheader game number 1, Green Bay at Minnesota, or the Giants here at Philadelphia. And at the moment, Minnesota and Pittsburgh are tied in the 4th quarter at 3. Green Bay is beating the Rams. The second game at Dallas, Atlanta at the Rams, and Tampa Bay at Phoenix. 2nd and 10 here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. If Minnesota ties today and Green Bay wins, next week's winner would still win the NFC Central. If Minnesota wins, they win the NFC Central and a spot in the playoffs. Here's Rippon. He gets it to Middleton. Middleton to the 48. Tripped up by Eric Allen, a gain of 8.
And Reggie White came on a big pass rush. I think you see Randall Cunningham there and Keith Byers. Talk about whatever it takes to win. We know that in this game, we're down to the last 2 minutes, the winners in the playoffs.
3rd and 2, that's Ricky Irvins. And he may have a first down, maybe not. Maybe they'll have to measure, but they need that clock stopped pretty quickly.
This is going to be one of those big spots. I mean, this one could go either way.
Well, that's not close enough, they don't believe, to measure, so the Redskins do use a timeout. This game presented by authority of the National Football League. This CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the National Football League is prohibited.
Well, that brings up 4th down. You're in the last 2 minutes. You're the Redskins. You're the defending Super Bowl champions. Until someone else wins it, you're the champions of this league. It's down to 4th and 1. Joe Gibbs has to make that call. I would think, I remember last week they were in the same type of situation. They ran a quarterback sneak, and Mark Rippon, instead of going right ahead, just went to his right a little. I would expect a quarterback sneak here.
The only difference, John, would be the difference in time remaining. Now they have much less time. Rippon goes quarterback sneak, and he gets the first down. At least the Redskins think so. But the officials haven't signified that yet.
And again, how do they mark that ball? They're taking timeout. That's officials' timeout.
They're going to measure.
They're going to measure it.
Looks to me as if he got it. First down, Redskins. Now they got to get something in a hurry.
Well, of course, and that something has to be a touchdown. Down 17 to 13. They need a touchdown. They do have 2 timeouts left.
Here's Rippon. Wheels it outside to Irvin. Irvin broke a couple of tackles and finally got out of bounds at about the Eagles 30. Booty knocked him out of bounds. Clock stopped at 1:02. 19-yard gain.
And this is what it's all about. The Redskins, Joe Gibbs, one of the great offensive minds in this game. On the Eagles side, Bud Carson, one of the great defensive minds in this game, playing a chess match.
With big people and big stakes.
And talented people. The winner goes on.
Rippon, 1st and 10. Redskins at the Eagle 31. Mark Rippon's coming out of there. Rippon's going to take off with it. Rippon jumps. And he just can't jump quite high enough to get over Rich Miano. He got 9 or 10 yards. Timeout, Redskins.
That's the way quarterbacks play when there's no tomorrow. He's going to jump up over. He can't do that, but he was just giving everything he had to try and reach that first down marker. That's what he was doing. But I'll tell you who made a heck of a pass rush was Reggie White, because he got a push on Rippon. He got his hand up there, and he flushed him out, and he made him do this. Got a pretty good block there. Now he's just trying to broad jump. He's trying to broad jump, not high jump, but broad jump to a first down.
Well, his hang time wasn't just quite good enough. 17-13 Eagles. 4th quarter, 48 seconds left.
And this, how can your quarterback have a smile on his face? That's the way competitors think. If you're a competitor, you want to be in big games. And you want to be in big games or right at the end. This is what it's all about. These are the great games. This is what makes the NFL.
2nd and short. The Eagle lead is 4. Rippon to throw. Reeve got the hand up and knocked it away.
You say, yeah, Jim Lachey jumped up. We're going to see, here's Lachey. Clyde Simmons is going to be coming on him. He pushes him, he pushes him. Now right here, he's going to get his hand up to the inside. He just knocked that ball up in the air. Lachey was looking around for it.
Byers may have a bad foot, but he can still cheer the crowd. Let's hear some noise, folks. 3rd and 1.
And the crowd knows defense.
Rippon again on the quarterback sneak. He'll get the first down, and now the clock is down to 35 seconds left. Timeout, Redskins.
And I think what Rippon wanted to do was just jump up and stop the clock, but someone else other than Rippon took timeout. He didn't want the timeout, because what that did is that used up their last timeout. So now he has a first down. That's the good news. Down by 4, he needs a touchdown, and he only has 35 seconds.
The meeting on the sideline with Don Bro and Jim Hannafin. Joe Gibbs in the middle.
Well, you know what happens. What they have to be talking about is you can't take a sack. You can't throw the ball inside. Obviously, Joe Gibbs is going to call a play, so he's not going to call a running play. Defense are talking about keeping everything inside. Guard the end zone, because they have to throw the ball to the end zone.
The winner goes to the playoffs. Think he's not aware of that, and he's not aware of that?
I think he's done an outstanding job with this football team over the last 2 years, Rich Kotite.
He has kept some very strong individuals together on game day at least. Here's Rippon. Incomplete. Intended for Ricky Irvin. Jim Hannafin. Rich Kotite. And the signals coming in from the sideline from Joe Gibbs. Wait a minute.
It looks like Joe Gibbs called the play, and then he erased it and then changed it. Again, he has 3 more plays. They have to be passes, and they have to be into the end zone.
2nd down and 10 with 32 seconds left. Rippon going for the corner. The dive by Gary Clark, incomplete. Final score, Minnesota 6, Pittsburgh 3. Final. And so that means they win the NFC Central.
And this year is for the playoffs. 3rd down. The winners in the playoffs. Everyone is yelling defense. In Washington, they're yelling offense.
Sanders was the man in motion. Here's Rippon. Going deep, incomplete, and out of the end zone. Clark again, the intended receiver. And Rippon will have one more shot with 21 seconds left. Conceivably, they could get a first down and run another play, but that would be very difficult. The winner goes to the playoffs. That says it all.
Yep, Joe Gibbs calling the offensive play. We saw a picture of Bud Carson calling the defensive play.
4th down and 10.
This place is shaking.
Rippon. To Irvin. Inside the 5. And let's see what happened. It's a first down, certainly. Redskins in a hurry. 7 seconds left on the game clock. And now they've got the sticks moving. They'll start the clock again. 3 seconds. Rippon stops it with 2 seconds left. Wow.
What the fans were booing about is that the Redskins didn't have a timeout, but they had to take the time to move the chains and spot the ball. The umpire the guy behind the defense is in charge of spotting the ball, and he didn't have the ball down there. So they couldn't start the clock.
Or the sticks moved because they did get the first down.
Right, they got the first down. Then when he put the ball down, then the clock started again.
2 seconds left. The Redskins with one more play as Rippon got the clock stopped. Second down and goal at the 5. Sanders in motion. And here's Rippon back to throw it. Reggie White chasing. Pass is incomplete in the end zone. And it's over. Eric Allen batted it down at the last second. Gary Clark was the intended receiver. The Eagles are in the playoffs. Is bedlam.
This is what it's all about.
Well, I'll tell you.
Games, division, playoff. The winner goes to the playoffs. You can't beat this.
Once again, the final score here at Veterans Stadium was Philadelphia 17, Washington 13. Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show. Greg and Terry will have all the scores and highlights. You're watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
Oh, we thank you, man. If we had the opportunity to do what we do, we thank you for the love that you've given us.